sutra sangha out of compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tận thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, thiện chiến diệu hào luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát vi khổ đạt lạc, tập chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Namo Saranto Suche Doye Alahadi San Miao San Puto Se. Namo Tatakta Toya Daja Alahade Tamil Dambo Datoa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom and thus come one true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu, wo jin jian wen de shou chi yan jie ru lai zheng shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Huineng, Venerable YongHua, Venerable Left-Home people, and all good no advisor Emituofo. 诸佛菩萨六祖师父上人，各位出家人，各位上智sư A Di Đà Phật. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa lục tổ ở Thượng Tiến Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Today is the 18th of April 2021. We are gathered here to continue discussing the sixth Patriarch Sutra. We are on our last chapter on slide 52. These are about the final instructions of the great Patriarch, Master Huineng. Okay, Sutra Text. They also maintain that the direct way cannot be established by written words, and yet those two words not established are themselves written.
又云：直道不立文字，即此不立两字，亦是文字。
What's the context again? I forgot. Okay. He talked about the people who. Did we go into this really? Did we talk about the sutra maintain the written words are no use? No way. We never talked about this. I'm sorry. We need to backtrack. That's why I couldn't remember the context. Okay, so we talked last time, I remember we talked about if you attach the marks, meaning you don't understand, you look at things, you get excited, then you add in your deviant views. We're on slide 51. And then when you grasp emptiness, meaning especially of the Hinayana people, you will increase your ignorance. Okay, I like to offend people every now and then. apparently the Hinayana people, we call Hinayana, they got offended if they use the word Hinayana. Who cares? We have our little world, our cocoon, and you don't like it, stay away. I'm sorry, I'm so provincial. Okay, we're on 52. Right? Okay, so next. The text says, they also maintain that the direct way cannot be established by written words. And yet those two words, not established, are themselves written. Is that what is? No? That's what I just read. Daniel, you have a way of confusing me. Okay. So what happened is that it's funny because most people learn Buddhism from books. And that's so typical of the Dharma ending age, where people just look at Buddhism as a worldly thing. You know, Buddhism is a sacred thing for us, Mahayana people. Well, we know those are secret teachings from the Buddha. The secret, not because they are not shared. The secret because only a limited group of people understand what he means. So you can't simply understand Buddhism or research Buddhism by reading the books. If you want to understand Buddhism, if you want to take advantage of Buddhism, really truly take advantage of Buddhism, you have to meditate. Okay, some form of meditation. Okay, some form of spiritual practices before you can penetrate what the Buddha means. And that's what happens. So it's typical of these people that they are well-read, they research a lot, they argue a lot. To me, I chuckle when I see people argue at the temples. Many temples, their approaches are about teaching Buddhism is for them, to encourage debate and discussions and so forth. And when you listen to these people debate and so forth, they don't even know how to use the technique that the Master Huineng taught. What did he teach? Anyone remembers? If people ask you about something, how do you answer them? It is so ingenious. If people ask you and want to make you look bad and try to ask you about something that they don't understand, they think they understand when they don't, the way you answer them is talk about the opposite that they asked and negate that. That's how you explain to them what they ask. Okay, there's so many different variations, so many ways to use it. He taught it from a perspective, that technique from a perspective of a Dharma master. There's some people, either they're arrogant, like they're scholars, and they come in and they say, I've read all the entire Tripitaka. Have you? Okay. And especially, there are many monks in the past who read the Tripitaka in Chinese, the Chinese Tripitaka for a few times at least. And so they think they know. And of course they don't. Because words are just words. Words are simply expedience for the Buddha to teach us, to train us, and help us open our wisdom. Okay, so that's why his sermons, his teachings, have so many levels of understanding that you cannot claim you truly understand it. That's the truth. It is. That's why I use the word secret, meaning because he said something, let's say in a group like this, he said something actually, it meant different, had carried different meaning for depending on who you are. Okay? And that's the genius of the Buddha, that's the wisdom of the Buddha. Okay? And so, including the Hinayana people, they don't understand. I mean, us, we don't understand. Of course, that's obvious, because we recognize there's some secret meaning that we can't possibly connect with. Not yet. Eventually we will. But I admit to you that I don't understand. So, so that's why you have to be wary, be careful of the people who claim they understand everything. They think they're better. Those people clearly don't understand Mahayana at all. In particular, I can think of a group of people, they think they're better. I used to think that way to myself. That's how I got my first start as a left home person. Joined a group that I immediately picked up on the energy and the mindset. We're better than you. I don't care who you are. Whether you're a monk or nun, I'm better than you. Okay? And it's true. They're better. They were better than the rest. It's true. Because after I got discarded, is it discarded? No. Carded. Remember my hopping bars times? I got discarded. Anyway, I went around to various temples, and it's true. I recognize that the Dharma I learned is far better than any Dharma I met, that I encountered or read. As a matter of fact, what's superior about Master Hsuan's Dharma is that he tells us how to open our wisdom. Whereas the other teachers only repeat to you the words from the sutras. They can't tell you what to do. Okay? So that's what happens unfortunately, that's what happens to Buddhism in the world nowadays. People read the words. Okay? The Sutra Text says that the direct way cannot be established by written words. Okay? It's true. The Buddhism, the Buddha used words as an expedient to point out a couple of things. Number one, what you're supposed to know. This is what scholars get. Okay, you can read the words and you say, okay, I know we're supposed to know about passion, wisdom, and so forth, at a superficial level only. But it also meant for you to realize that at your level of comprehension is still very superficial. There's a lot more secret meaning in those words, that the only way for you to penetrate it is to open your wisdom, to understand it. So there's a way for us to open our wisdom, to understand, to have access to the secret meaning of these words. Okay? And that's what Master YongHua provided. Now, I couldn't find anywhere else. Whether it's, you name it, any famous monk or nun you can think of. Okay? I read about them, I heard about them, and I went to met some of them. And they talk about theory. Okay? If you ask them, if you agree with me that in order for me to truly understand, penetrate the meaning of the Buddha, okay, what do I need to do? No one can tell you what to do. All they can do is tell you generalities. Whereas Master YongHua, my teacher, late Chinese teacher, he tells you exactly what to do. And that's why he's so unique, he's so special. I couldn't find anyone else like that. Including if you want to go to the Pure Land, and the Buddha says you need to recite the Buddha's name in one mind unconfused. So as a Western educated person, I said, how do I do that? Please tell me. Please teach me. You're supposed to train me. Teach me how to do that. No one can tell you how to do that. Okay? Master Xinhua is the one that came closest to spelling it out for you. Okay? Same thing. You want to become a fourth stage arhat. What do I do? Because until you get a fourth stage arhat, you don't know what these Hinayana sutras mean. You have no clues. Trust me. Okay? These Hinayana sutras were spoken in order to open the wisdom, to confirm to the fourth stage arhat what they are supposed to understand. So if you don't understand what they mean, you practice, you go to the forest, you go to the valleys and practice, you meditate until you reach fourth stage arhat, and all of a sudden you say, oh, that's what it means. I never knew what it meant until now. Okay? It's not meant for us. It's secret meaning that's carried, meant for the fourth stage arhat. Similarly, never mind about the Hinayana people. How about something more practical for us? Because that's Hinayana and fourth stage arhat so difficult to reach. I mean, like we want to go to the Pure Land. How do we go to the Pure Land? How do we enter this Buddha recitation, samadhi? Okay? And how do we improve our grade? No one talks about that. They talk about generalities. They talk about, how wonderful the Pure Land is, and you recite the Buddha name, for sure you get there. Who are you to guarantee me I'm going to get there? Huh? Who are you? I'm very practical. Okay? Were you there? Did you send anyone there? You know anyone went there? Huh? Did they come back and tell you? This is why Buddhism, if you leave it to the scholars, to the leave of the people who only read the books, Buddhism becomes worldly knowledge. I know more than you. Instead of using the sutras as they're supposed to do. Number one, tell you what you're supposed to know at that level of teaching. Fourth stage arhat is supposed to understand the Pali sutras. They're capable of understanding that, but not the Sanskrit-based sutras. They can't. Okay? So that's why these people they argue, they debate because they disagree on the worldly aspects of Buddhism, whereas the Buddhist teaching is not worldly at all. Okay, the true Buddhist teaching is not meant for worldly people to debate, to argue, and to use it as a gauge to prove the superiority, the superior intellect. Okay, so anyway, to finish my point, so in the temple I used to belong to, until I was carded, I picked up the attitude, we better, and definitely they're better, no two ways about it. Okay, but they're not the best. In the U.S., in the West, okay, we have the mindset we go for number one. and you may be good for now, but in Mahayana we have something called certain teaching that's beautifully, that's ingeniously illustrated here in the sixth Patriarch Sutra. No lead is ever safe. You could have 50 years ahead, but you can lose it one split second. You're totally confused. You don't know what to do. But with the proper teaching, proper training, split second, you can be born to the Pure Land. That's Mahayana. All right? So that's why, personally, when I encounter people, hear about people who think they're better, whether they say it or they think that way, I know they have no Mahayana wisdom, none whatsoever. Definitely, especially in our context, okay, they don't understand. They have not learned about the sudden teaching yet. If you learn, you understand about sudden teaching, you become a lot more humble. Okay? Because anyone can surpass you any moment, any time, any place. All right. So these people, they are, who are they again? English is, excuse me, I need to go back and see who am I attacking, who am I criticizing. Why did you jump into J, also maintain? Anyway, these experts, okay, let's go to 53, the commentary slide. These so-called experts also maintain that the direct way cannot be established by written words. What is this direct way? Does anyone know what the direct way that's being referred here to is about? What is it? Yes, great.
Is direct way sudden enlightenment?
Okay, direct enlightenment. Anyone else have any idea what he's talking about? Why can't you simply say the way cannot be established by written words? But he used the word direct. He added the word direct. That's why I'm wondering. Yes. Great.
Does it have anything to do with the different vehicles? So like the three vehicles, and then the direct way is means the Buddha vehicle.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes, Daniel.
Meant that it's not only by words but also by action.
By action. Okay. That's the same. It's in that spirit of that word. Yes. Anyone else? Great.
Master, you've told us the story of a monk who became enlightened by hearing like a sound, just a single sound. So that wouldn't be a written word.
Not a written word. Okay. Direct way. Okay. Who else has any guess? What's the direct way? Yes, Orange.
I think the way would be following the sutras, but the direct way would be following your good knowing advisor's instructions.
Pretty good. Getting close. Okay. Anyone else? Very good. Kath.
Well, instead of making too many turns, or like maybe studying the sutras, whatever, things like that, taking too many turns.
Translation. Thu Ha. When he's not sure, he slurs. When he's sure, he articulates, you know. You can tell. Have you noticed that? When he's not sure, when he's sure, I'm Catholic. You hear?
Please.
Even my translator has a problem.
Direct way would be like, instead of taking too many turns, just go directly to what they tell you to do.
So directly means instead of taking too many turns, just go directly to where they want you to go.
Very good. That's pretty good. Jewel Mountain. That's the direct way.
Venerable XZ says, mind to mind.
Mind to mind. Excellent. Anyone else? This is so Sixth Patriarch style. Yes, great.
Master, to my lazy Western mind, the direct way is I don't have to cross my legs or listen to Dharma talk. I'm just suddenly enlightened, and it's all good.
No comment. You guys are too much. Yeah. This is so Master Huineng. He says, what interests him is the fastest way for you to become enlightened. That's all he does. No one understands what drives this great monk. Okay? In my opinion, he opened his mouth. Whatever he does every day is to give you the most direct way for you to become enlightened. That's his only interest. You agree or disagree? This is what great teachers are. They don't beat around the bush. They don't waste time. I remember my master, he talked to me 1 or 2 sentences. That's it. He never talked to me in like 2-3 hours. Never. Just he gave me one. And look, when I was ordained, I was left the home life, became a novice monk. He was in great pain and had to go for dialysis every day for 2 hours, every other day for 2 hours, 2-3 hours. I sit in the machine and it hurts like hell for hours. And then so I was at Long Beach Monastery, and so we conducted the ceremony and everything. And then after it was done, they wheeled him out in this wheelchair. Okay, couldn't even walk with his own power. They wheeled him out. Okay, and I remember I was sitting at the altar behind me. Okay, because we had to speak Dharma. Okay, and so they wheeled him out from the front entrance, so far away there, and they push him, and I look at and he entered the Buddha hall. Okay, imagine like the Buddha hall there is about a little bit bigger than our Buddha hall, deeper than our Buddha hall, and the entrance is another twice the size of the parlor right there. So I can watch him being pushed right there, and you stop him, and said, okay, I'm glad that you shave your head. Keep precepts, you hear? That's it. He turned around, and he asked him to push around and left. That's it. That's his instructions. Okay, so I'm trying to tell you these great masters I had the chance to receive instructions from. They always very direct. They don't never beat around the bush. Okay, because and they tell you directly. The speech is very direct. They tell you exactly what you're supposed to do. what differentiates, do you hear me, novices in Korea? Huh? What differentiates a left-form person from a lay person is that we're supposed to keep the left-form precepts. That's the first thing we need to learn to do. Isn't that beautiful? Right there. And that's enough. So is the instructions good enough for me to, spend my entire life trying to do that? Isn't that beautiful? Huh? At all levels. As an idiot who just shave his head, keep the precepts. Okay? We're all supposed to keep our precepts. Period. So my point is, these great teachers, they give us instructions to bring us directly to enlightenment. Okay? You can add more adjective, but it could be confusing to you. But if you're a bodhisattva, the direct way is called the direct middle way. If you're a Hinayana person, it's called direct way. Direct sagely way. Okay? So this great teacher used the word direct way, which applies to everyone. Okay? So that's what he's discussing. So he says these people who claim to understand, they say that maintain, they're adamant that the direct way, the teaching that I'm interested as a sixth patriarch in teaching to you as part of my role, my meaning of life, why I'm doing this, cannot be established by written words. Okay? Yet those two words, not established, are themselves written. Okay? So that's what happens to people who debate, resort to debate to prove the point. I'm referring to scholars, to people who think they're better. Okay? So since the only way that they can prove the superior intellect, the superior knowledge is by words and languages, that's why they fail. Okay? Next, 54. Sutra Text. They should not speak either because spoken words are merely the marks of written language.
人亦不合语言，只此语言，便是文字之相。
Commentary. What? Where do you go? I think we're missing some slides here between 54 and 55. Okay, so that should be, can you move 56 to 50, move 55 to a little bit later? At least move 56 to further back to 57, 58. And we can move it furthermore if it doesn't apply. For now, I'd like to discuss just this part of the Sutra Text. Sorry about that, folks. This one is out of place, out of order. Okay, so anyway, the commentary is that Now I can't move it anymore. Okay. They shouldn't speak either. Okay. 55. Okay, I think we moved it. Okay. So the Patriarch says they shouldn't speak either because spoken languages are merely the marks of written languages. Okay, so this is how he presents his argument to point out where they're wrong, but this is why in Mahayana, once you understand, you no longer want to debate because as soon you open your mouth, as soon you express yourself, it's like in martial arts. The person who attacks first will lose. Because as soon as you attack, you have weaknesses, you have openings. Okay? So that's why in the people with wisdom, they don't engage in debates at all. In Vimalakirti Sutra, Vimalakirti is a transformation body Buddha who manifests himself as a rich elder, very rich, very powerful, very wise. He advised the kings and queens and ministers and generals and monks and nuns and bodhisattvas. He give a hard time to everyone. Shariputra, Upali, who is the expert in precepts, would say, Upali, you don't know what you're talking about. Shariputra, you don't understand. Okay? And so forth. So he criticized everyone, including bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas are even scared of him because he would point out to them where they're wrong. Okay, so everyone avoided going to Vimalakirti when they heard that he was sick. In Buddhism, there's a precept in Mahayana: when you hear of sick people, you're supposed to go pay them a visit. That's a bodhisattva way. You don't ignore people when they're sick. Okay, you go pay a visit and pay them a visit. So Vimalakirti, knowing that the bodhisattvas and the arhats tried to avoid him, so he pretended to be sick, very, very sick. So now the bodhisattvas and arhats had to pay him a visit. But he said, what's the hurry? Let's wait. Okay? They waited until they heard that Manjushri, number one wisdom among the bodhisattvas, decided to go pay him a visit, as required by the bodhisattva precepts. So they all tag along behind him. Okay, so as soon as they showed up, Shariputra showed up, or the other bodhisattva showed up, whatever, Vimalakirti said, "Oh, I'm so glad you came. Can I tell you something before I die?" But when it's time for Manjushri to speak with Vimalakirti, Manjushri is also a transformation body Buddha. So Manjushri, but however, that Buddha chose to manifest as just a bodhisattva. Okay, be careful when I use the word just as. Okay. It's a make-believe. And so Manjushri asked the Dharma, because when everyone else is afraid to ask Vimalakirti, Manjushri said, why are you afraid? I asked Dharma for him. Okay? So he said, so Manjushri says, well, please teach me the highest level of Buddha Dharma there is. And what did Vimalakirti say? Nothing. And Manjushri says, so it is, so it is. Okay? That's how they debate. Okay? So that's why people with wisdom, they don't speak, they don't argue, they don't debate. Okay? They look at us and they can tell how stupid we are already. What's the point in beating a dead horse? We're already stupid. What's the point? Okay? Not their problems. Yes, sir. Great.
Master, is that why politicians debate? Because they have no wisdom?
They debate. I am not a politician, but they debate in order, but I have the same problem as they do. They debate in order to raise money. Okay? Because you have this big field of monks there. I need to say something, distinguish myself. Okay, next. No, not just the one. Move it further away. Okay, let's ignore this. Okay, let's do that. Sorry, folks. Okay. So we cannot insert this. So 52. So what do you want me to do exactly? 52. Okay, that makes sense now. Okay, excellent. Okay, very good. See? Okay, so that's backtrack. Okay, so last week, strike everything. Okay, it's been an hour. Okay, so just forget everything. Okay, pretend we didn't hear anything for a while. Okay, Sutra Text. Those who grasp at emptiness slander the sutras by maintaining the written words have no use, since they maintain that they have no need for written words.
执空之人有谤经，直言不用文字，纪云不用文字。
Okay. Ooh, interesting. So, there are some people who studied and researched Buddhism and practiced Buddhism for a while, and to the point where they have an understanding. They understand that Buddhism is meant to teach you about emptiness. Okay? So they said, all Buddhist teachings is about emptiness. That is correct. So far, so good. Anyone disagrees with me? Scholars. All scholars, anyone who understands and researches Buddhism, studies Buddhism, practices Buddhism, recite Buddha's name, recite mantras. Eventually, all these practices will help you understand emptiness. Okay? Until you have some level of proficiency in your Buddhist practices, okay, you will not be able to understand emptiness. However, if you have some minimal wisdom, then you begin to appreciate the Buddhist concept of emptiness. Why is emptiness a concept important? Because remember, what is Buddhism is about? Buddhism, we teach you Chan meditation, teach you Pure Land, teach you mantras, teach you sutras and all those things. For what purpose? Yes, Kath.
To go to the Pure Land and get out of the wheel of reincarnation?
Very good. Which is another way of saying what? See, when he's sure, I can understand him directly. Great.
To get enlightened.
Get enlightened, yes. What else? Two, how do you become enlightened? How do you get out of the wheel of reincarnation? Yes, Daniel.
Meditation?
Meditation. All right. How do you meditate? Anyone? Again, Catholic.
Crossing your legs.
What?
Crossing your legs.
Crossing your legs. Don't make fun of me. Sat in half lotus, I'm told, for an hour. A Catholic sitting in half lotus. Can you imagine? Can you see that? Can you picture that in your mind? What is this world becoming? All those practices are predicated upon your making you what? Let go of your attachments. Very good. Seen it? You recite sutras, you will let go of your attachments. This morning I told you when you're tired, then you're so tense, you are so anxious, you're so depressed. You read sutras, you find out that your head feels lighter, you feel better. Because sutras, reading sutras, reciting sutras, bowing to the Buddhas will free your mind from being attached to what bothers you, what makes you anxious, what makes you nervous, what worries you. That's why you become relaxed. Yes, great.
I used to read more sutras, but I kind of don't read as many sutras now because I feel like there's so much preparation I have to do in order to read a sutra. But is it possible I read a sutra, sitting down in a chair, or do I have to sit full lotus, my back straight, sutra on a table or something? Because I feel like if it's more casual, I would read sutras more. But since it's not, I don't find myself doing it as much.
Sacrilegious. These are our sacred texts. What are you talking about? Ever seen Scorpion King series of movies? Just kidding. Yes, sir.
Yes, but that idea of sutras are sacred texts makes me scared to open up a sutra. Really,
That's true. Me too. But it didn't stop me from lying down and saying, I don't care. I don't care. I'm tired. I feel like reading sutras now, so I would lie on the couch and read sutras. I said, wow, this is interesting. or put my legs on the table and say, hey, wow. And that's why I never could open any wisdom. Yes, you can do anything you want, okay? And you find it entertaining, which I did. But it wouldn't help the big, with your big, goal to become enlightened, okay? I sound casual, I know that, but it's about your mindset, okay? If, like I used to, read sutras, look at sutras as entertaining, as intellectually interesting. See, people don't think like that. You know, they don't talk like the Buddhas. Okay, so the different reference points used to interest me because, wow, you know, it's like they think differently and so forth. So that was intriguing. But because of that mindset, I couldn't register the depth of the meaning. Okay, so my point is that it depends on how you read sutras. You get exactly what you deserve. If you read as an means of entertainment, it is entertaining to me. It's so entertaining. It's interesting. Okay. Yes. Great.
Master, what does emitting light mean? Does it mean you're doing pretty well? Or?
Emitting light?
Emitting with an E, emit light?
Emit light? Yes. It's like you turn on a light in halo thing behind you. Imagine you have an invisible halo. Is it halo? Huh? Halo, thank you. And then you turn on the switch, and and also behind you there's some light. It's cool. But that's what happens actually when you enter samadhi. You switch on a switch, and you emit light. The people who open their spiritual eye, they can see that. Okay? In fact, in general, those of you who have a little bit of samadhi power, okay, you have this layer of light around you. This is natural, depend on your skill level, but this is natural layer around you. That's your protective layer. Okay? And that's, you can see a different color there. Okay? And that's, it's a physical thing, but also it signifies that it's your protective shield. Everyone has that. Okay? And that's why when you teach, now you run into that obstruction right there. When you're trying to tell him something, you have to pierce through his halo, his what do you call this? Aura. Thank you. Yeah, that's why I was looking, the word I was looking at, that aura. You need to go through it in order to get to his brains. Okay? And that's why if you have samadhi power and people a lower level than you insult you and do things to you, they cannot go through that aura of yours. So you're impervious to it. They can insult, they can praise you. You're not affected. You see that? Very practical knowledge. Yes, White.
Mô Phật và Thầy, giống bây giờ mình đọc kinh rồi đó thì mình thấy cũng cũng là nó cũng có cái mà đọc kinh tốt hơn là mình buông xả hoặc là chấp trước, hai cái mình bằng cái nào thầy?
So Master, let's say that now we recite a sutra and compare to let go, detach yourself, which way is better?
Do them all. The Mahayana practice is very well-rounded. Okay? Because our minds fluctuates between different states. So that's why these different ways of Buddhist practices, different forms of Buddhist practices, are ways for you to develop skills, to be able to utilize them at the appropriate times. So it all varies. Okay? That's why in Mahayana we encourage you to learn them all. Don't say, I'm only reciting Buddha's name. I don't meditate. Or Chan people says, I'm a Chan person, I don't recite Buddha's name. It's only because you don't know better. They're all very good for you. Okay? It doesn't matter what you do. In fact, in this morning I talked about some of my students who made some improvements so far. You ask them, what did you do? We are Chan temple, we are Chan temple. Did you meditate a lot? And most of them will tell you, no, we worked. And Master yells a lot. That's all we remember. Yes, great.
Master, I see lots of people these days with little Buddha statues around their houses and gardens, and they've bought them from CVS or Rite Aid or Ross or something like that.
Right.
And they don't really know much about Buddhism, but is it good for them to have Buddhas around, or would it benefit them more to not have any sort of Buddha around their house?
It's a mixed bag. I used to be brainwashed by the Chinese who say that, you have a Buddha, you're supposed to put it in a clean place and all those things. And now I'm as I get older and more lazy, they all have plus and minuses to me. Okay, I don't have a problem with, let's say, the rich people buying a Buddha's head and put it in their living room, just to cut our Buddha's head off the body and put it in the living room. Think about it. It's kind of insulting to the Chinese. Okay, so yes, it's not a polite way of using the Buddha to adorn your living room. Okay, however, it could introduce the Catholics to the concept of Buddhas. So, as I get older, I'm no longer that attached to all these forms, all these rules and conventions. It's good, it's okay. I think bottom line is that I believe the Buddhas don't mind. I really do. Doesn't matter. So I say, oh, did you know? You have a Buddha statue in your garbage bin. I said, oh, really? Even the Buddha statue to me in the garbage bin forces you to talk about Buddha. That's a good thing, too. No? So that's why don't be so attached to everything. It's okay. We should embrace them all. Okay? The bottom line is Buddhas don't mind, trust me. They don't mind at all. Yes, great. Whether you put them in a toilet or not. They don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you because people see a Buddha and it brings up, if they even think about the Buddha, I think it's more blessings than if they don't even think about it.
So what? They missed the boat. So what? It's not the Buddha's problem.
Yeah, I thought it was a good idea, but I always see the Chinese and whoever else say that you shouldn't do that. And I think, like I said, if the thought of a Buddha comes up, it's better than not having the thought of a Buddha.
Remember, the bottom line, why we teach all these things is to help you get rid of your attachments. Why are you so attached to having a Buddha in a clean place? That's an attachment, isn't it? Uh-oh. Yes, great.
Master, has there ever been a Hinayana spy at Way Mountain Temple?
Hinayana
spy.
Oh, yeah. They grasp emptiness. Those people grasp emptiness. So they have some wisdom. They understand about emptiness. And they say, this is the only true knowledge worthwhile. If you want to really have wisdom, the highest level of knowledge is emptiness. Believe it or not. So these people have wisdom. I think that's what the Master is referring to. Those who grasp emptiness says, I have wisdom. I see emptiness. I understand emptiness in a way you can't. Okay? And these people slander the sutras by maintaining written words of no use. They said, sutras are made up of words. And words are empty. Okay? So sutras are useless. And therefore, there's no need for written words. What's your counter argument? Yes, great.
Master, reciting the sutras is a means to an end. We have to educate ourselves, and the further knowledge we receive, the more wisdom we'll have, the less we'll have to write it down.
Very good. I agree. Anyone else? I have to process it for a while because it's a long sentence. Yes. Anyone else? Yes, great.
Thank you, Master. Attempting to follow the rhetorical appeal you mentioned earlier, I think you could respond and say, spoken words have no use or meaning either. So why would you even bother to say that written words don't?
Okay. All right. Very good. Gray again.
I would say that since now we're in the Dharma ending age, most people nowadays have much less understanding of the Buddha Dharma. Therefore, since it was written down a long time ago, and these words of the sixth patriarch were written down, we can look at ancient wisdom and see things that were recorded versus listening to people these days that don't understand what they're talking about.
Very good. Very, very good. Can't argue with that. Anyone else? Anyone else? Can you use less than 5 words? Q&A. You understand? Yes, I agree with you. But we're talking about how can convince these idiots that they're stupid? Yes, Q&A.
You are not there yet.
No, you are not there.
There. 5
You
words.
are not there yet. Very good. Anyone else? That's better, yes. Koreans. The Koreans are so happy. They just sit there so early in the morning. Who cares? Yeah? Yes, Kath.
Become Catholic.
Become Catholic. I told you, this guy is up to no good. He's trying to steal disciples from me. Anyone else? Yeah. Anyone else? Yes?
Oh, just a side note, he told me I'd make a very good Catholic monk.
He's a Catholic monk. He'll make a good Catholic monk, that's for sure. I would encourage him. Yes. It would be a good addition. But problem is that they probably can't keep up with him. He knows too much now. So it's very difficult to indoctrinate him anymore. But that's their problem, none of our business. Anyone else? White.
Giống Huệ Năng đó, không biết chữ mà không biết viết một cái chữ, tại sao mà Ngài giác ngộ?
Okay.
Master, like Master Hui Nang, he's illiterate. He didn't know any words, but then he's still able to attend enlightenment.
Okay. Answer her. That's a good question. Excellent question. This woman is dangerous. Did she see her? She's up to something. You know? Answer her so that we don't lose face. And I say, because she can go back to her temple and say, you know, I went over there, asked them a question, none of them could give me an answer. Yes, great.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Master Hui Nang, he is illiterate. He didn't know any words. How can he attain enlightenment?
Jewel Mountain has the answer.
Jewel Mountain says, just sit longer and endure.
Sit longer, endure. But Master Hui Nang didn't sit, didn't even endure. So Korean, jeez. Yes, great.
I believe Master Huiyan would remember and commit the learning of the sutras to memory. And he didn't need to be able to just write and see
He
it.
did that. Very good. Anyone else? Give a microphone. You have to give me a caller, otherwise it's too many of you. Black. Purple.
But in this context, Master Huiyan did not slander the sutra. But
Didn't
these people
slander
slander the sutra, though.
Right, it's not a good thing to slander the sutras. Yes, give it to, the other spy. Yes, purple.
I think, I don't know his name, YongHua or YongHua, to answer her question, I think he just went the direct path.
Direct
The
path.
way.
Yeah, that's what they all say. It's direct path. Trust the Lord. Anyone else? Yes, great.
Are we still talking about the written words?
We're talking both at the same time.
Okay. Well, yeah. The sutra was written a long time
We're
ago.
trying to demonstrate to the spies we were not easily distracted.
Oh, yeah. The sutra was written a long time ago and translated, but it was originally written. So when he heard it, it was a regurgitation of written words.
Okay, I tell you a secret. It's this woman here, you better watch out. Keep an eye on her. Because her questions are getting harder and harder to answer. And just proved it. See how you all struggle to answer a question? You notice that? It's getting harder and harder to answer questions. I think they secretly train her. To embarrass her. See, let's have an agree on this, okay? We allow them to come our temple and ask questions. Okay? It's okay. We don't mind. But since we know more, when we go to the temples, we don't ask questions. You hear? Because we don't ask questions they can't answer. Let them ask all the questions and we can answer them all. Okay? So I'm training you to answer these smart Alex questions. Okay, so how did he become enlightened? If he doesn't even read and has no education, how does he become enlightened? Fair question. Excellent. Yes, great.
I'm going to go out on a limb, Master. Perhaps he read the sutras in a previous lifetime and no longer needed to read them the lifetime he became enlightened.
That's true. That's absolutely true. It's 100% true. Yes. Great.
Master, wouldn't it be easier for him to be enlightened because he didn't have all the worldly knowledge to be attached to anyway?
That's also true. Excellent. Kath. Purple.
By following instructions?
Yes, that's true too. Excellent. You guys are good. But she's not impressed. She says, I want to hear from him. I'm here to embarrass him, not you. So, but I'm trying to prove to her that you don't need to embarrass me. My disciples answer you. Yes. Great.
I think a lot of the wonder of the sutra and a lot of sutras is you don't exactly know the right answer, and there's a million right answers that are all equally true. So everything that they said could be true. It could also be true, he hit a really high level of enlightenment. So he must have heard the Buddha speaking the Vajra Sutra at some point, or there's a ton of different answers you could get.
Yeah. So for him, when he eats lunch, it's going to be tacos, it's going to be tortillas, it's going to be what else is there? Burritos. He wants them all. Okay. Yes. Purple.
Listen to the verse 应无摄住而生寂心 to become enlightened. Those are written.
So how did he become enlightened?
Those are written word. Has it's not written and repeat to him, he would not be able to get enlightened.
But he's illiterate. Her point is he's illiterate.
But he listened to the word that was repeated from the written.
Okay.
So has that was not written, it would not be able to be spoken to him.
No, it's a technicality. She's that's not what she meant. Yes, Orange.
Already had the blessings.
Okay, that's true too. Anyone else? You know all the insider information, but we can't out-debate people by giving them insider information. It's for us to know, for them not to. If you don't want to know, they have to listen to my videotapes. Okay? Yes, you too.
Sutran says, it's understanding words can be conducive, but not definitive.
Okay, that's okay. That makes sense. Q&A.
I'm not entirely sure which questions we're answering, but then just a question about how six patriarchs got enlightened. I think when he heard the words, because he heard of the words before, and then it doesn't matter if he illiterate or not. It just it wakes up. He had the seeds planted long time ago, so it just the seed just worked at that moment.
Okay, very good. YouTube has the answer.
Yeah, Tiango says it was a sudden enlightenment and awoken from a previous life karma.
Very good. We don't know who Tiango is, but it sounds good to me. Okay, see? She's still unimpressed. I want you to tell me. Look at her face, you see? Typical spy. I'm here to embarrass you, not your disciples. Huh? Okay. Yeah, I have help. You too.
Emily says he heard the cup break.
That's funny. That's good. That's good. I like that. Okay. He became enlightened, even though he was not educated. He became enlightened because what he heard in that phrase right there, you should produce a mind that dwells nowhere. When he heard that phrase, he dropped all his attachments. So the world all became empty to him. His pain, his suffering, his mother became empty. Until then, of course, you want me to impress you. Gotta try harder, honey. I haven't said this before because I reveal it to you as the questions get harder. Up to that point, his mother is everything to him. Everything in his life is mother. That's it. Nothing else. You agree or disagree? Everything. The only thing that matters to him in life is his mother. I wasn't there, but I can tell you that's it. Why? Why dare I say that when I wasn't even there? What's my proof? Go back and ask your master first, and I tell you the answer later. Huh? So we exclude her for now, okay? Why do you think that I dare say that? Why? Remember, he didn't get married, huh? Not only because he's poor. There are plenty of poor women you can marry. Yes? He busts his butt working every day to feed her, to take care of her, right? That's it. Who else is more important to him right then besides his mother? You tell me. Does it say anywhere in his biography that he stopped by a bar and has some frog legs and beer with his buddies? No, nowhere, right? So his life revolves around working to bring the dough home to feed his mother, take care of his mother. That's number one. Number two, how dare I say that he dropped his mother? Don't tell them, okay? Don't tell them. Just between us. How do you know they dropped his mother? Yes, Purple.
He went on the trip alone by himself.
He basically gave her away. He said, hey, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm no longer attached to you. I'm no longer attached to taking care of you. I'm no longer attached to being filial to you. Agree or disagree? What filiality? Filiality? What's that again? Could you spell it out for me? Yeah, beautiful. That one sentence right there. He dropped everything that's important to the Chinese. He dropped them all. That's why he abandoned his mother, basically. It's beautiful, no? Yes, great.
Didn't he ask his mother for permission to leave?
Of course he did. If he said no, what do you think he would do? If you bind to my concept, he dropped his mother already. Mom, can I go to see the fifth patriarch? He says, no, of course not. I'm your mother. Who's going to take care of me? What is he going to do? Sayonara, mother. You understand sayonara? How about ciao? Huh? How cruel do I have to be? I'm done with you. And who says the sixth patriarch is not cruel? He abandoned his own mother because he can drop it. That's a state of enlightenment. He can drop him. Go tell your master that. Try again. You see? So where they came from, now I tell you. Where they came from, they said, our teacher, our common teachers, taught us about filial piety. Yes? So if you don't take care of your mother, you're infilial, you're not worthy. Yes? That's what Master YongHua taught them. I just quoted you the sixth patriarch. He abandoned his own mother. And that's utmost filiality, not low-level filiality. Agree or disagree? The Dharma that your masters learn is low-level filiality, not high-level filiality. So you want to take refuge now? Learn the real Dharma, not the, Hinayana and stuff. All right. Can we go back? So we answer, the failed attempt again. How do you answer this? Oh, I guess so. Oh. Finally, someone recognizes my value. Hint, hint, Catholic. So, how do you answer this person? My answer is, your emptiness isn't empty. You don't get it? Since they maintain they have no need for written words, okay? They maintain. This maintain here tells you it's still not empty. If it's really empty, you don't need to maintain anything. Do you? It's all empty. I would take alung and push it out the window. You empty. See, he likes it. Let's try that. Can we? All right, next. 54, they also maintain that the direct way cannot be established by written words, and that those two words now established are themselves written. Okay. And we're back to that slide. And so the same troublemakers who are so attached to emptiness to the point where they also say because it's all empty anyway, you cannot teach. You're gonna use the direct way with the written words, okay? And again, these are scholarly people. These are the people who are stuck on concepts. Concept called emptiness, concept called filial piety, concept called bodhisattva, concept called enlightenment. Okay? It's all nonsense. The 6 page are hurt. That one phrase is, he dropped everything. Nothing. Nothing left in his mind. Okay? That's the first time it's ever explained like this. Chinese don't even know that. Only we English-speaking people understand that concept. Where the Chinese would never dare admit that the 6 patriarch abandoned his mother. No one ever said that. You know that? Because she's Chinese, that's why I use the Chinese heritage against her. They're Chinese, that's why we use the heritage against them. They're too Chinese. All right. Can we move on? Next. 56, Sutra Text. They should not speak either, because spoken words are merely the marks of written language.
人意不合语言，只此语言，便是文字之象。
Okay, so the patriarch went a step further. He says, you talk too much. Okay, and it's nonsense because if you have any real wisdom, they wouldn't have spoken at all, because spoken words are marks. If you need to express yourself with words, then you are attached to what? What happens when you need to explain yourself? You're attached to marks. What marks? What marks are we talking about? Specifically, what kind of marks? Yes, great.
Words.
Words, all right. What are the marks? Yes.
Ideas. If you have to argue, you have a mark in your head of an idea.
Ideas. Okay, give it to the other guy and see what ideas we're talking about. What's your opinion?
Afflictions.
Afflictions? Okay, very good. Anyone else? All the above. Okay, you're attached. Why do you have to explain yourself at all? They insult you. They praise you. They give you money. Oh, thank you so much. Okay? Attached. Yes, great.
yesterday you were talking about the Reiki guy using his hands. Does this have anything to do with that? The marks having to do with the mind instead of the hands, or?
You're getting me in trouble again. Are you on my side or? What happened is that when the Reiki people go like this, you know why people go like this? Or when you go to a externalist, a Hindu temple, the big mamas and say, I heal people and I hug you. Have you been to any places like that? I heard about those places, let me give you a hug. That big mama gave you a hug and they hug you and you feel so good. You have this electricity going up and down your spine. Anyone happened before? Okay. This guy been everywhere. He's truly deviant. Okay? Or sorry, Hinayana people. I go to the Hinayana temple, Thai temple. My friend, my abbot friend, by the time I left, because everyone, we're there, and his disciples would come and ask him something, give him $20, and before they left, he would say, just a minute. So he stick this bamboo sticks here into water, and then he blessed them. Okay? So that's what, and they're happy. They're so happy. Believe it or not. Okay? They give $20 because I did see the bills, discreetly. And they're so happy. I said, okay, thank you. He's very calm. He takes a $20 bill, picks up $20 bill, so and they said, oh, thank you so much. I made my drive so worth it. Okay, so by the time we left, the few of us there, he looked at us. I gave him a tooth, by the way, tooth relic. And in my young days, I didn't know the value of those things. So he says, would you like me to give you some blessings? So my disciples, of course, says, oh yeah, please. So he gave him this thing, and they politely accepted that. I can see that they only politely accepted that, at least towards me, okay? And then he looked at me, and oh, okay, it's okay. He was about to go like this, and I said, anyway, so that's a mark. People are so attached to all these things. You go to the temple, you're attached to this. They are reinforcing the attachments. That's why Mahayana is so hard to teach you. It's nothing. You come here and you give so much money, you give so much time, you help so much, and we say, okay, thank you. And then you walk away and say, is that all? Really? I come here during the pandemic, help you out, and got multiple fights with my wife. I neglected my children, and that's all I get from you. Thank you. That's it. Okay, so spoken words, the marks are written languages. Okay, so the master says they are so attached to explaining, to understanding, to comprehension, all those things. Okay, as soon as you attach to the words, to the language, it's endless. Okay, attachments are endless. 58. Suture Text. When they hear others speaking, they slander them by saying that they are attached to written words. You should know that to be confused as they are may be permissible, but to slander the Buddha's sutras is not.
见人所说 便即谤他言着文字，汝等须知，自迷有可，又谤佛经。
Okay, 59. So these people, they think they know better. So whatever you tell them, whatever they hear, others, they slander them saying that, see, you don't understand emptiness, you're so attached to the written words. What's the problem with that? Yes, great. It's a ridiculous thing. What's so ridiculous about this? That's such behavior.
I thought he was saying when they hear others speaking, reciting the sutras. Is that what he's saying?
No, they are they're speaking, whatever they're speaking. Okay, anyone else? What's so ridiculous about this? White.
Mô Phật bạch thầy, con người mình chấp trước đó, có cái nhân quả gì không thầy?
Master, is there any cause and effect of the attachment?
You attach, you're not enlightened. Do you need any more any more causes, any more effects? You attach, you stupid. You get what you deserve. They hear others speaking, they slander them. So they themselves are attached to speaking. You have to slander them. Hey, you have to speak. Oh, you're so attached. Isn't that ridiculous right there? You don't see the humor. Huh? You spoke. You're so attached to spoken words. Shame on you. Ditto. You should know that they be confused as they are, may be permissible, but with slander the Buddha Sutra is not. It's okay to be confused. It's normal. That's who we are. That's how we are. But avoid, he's saying avoid doing things that will help you end your confusion. Help you get out of your stupidity. And the one thing that helps you out, the key to your getting out your confusion, your delusions, is in the sutras. And if you slander sutras, you will not be able to understand what sutras mean. That's so damaging. So if you slander sutras, now, in the future, when you hear sutras being explained to you, no matter how smart you are, no matter how wealthy you are, no matter how much money you're going to give to the temple, to your masters, you will not be able to understand what he tells you. You should be scared of that. Okay? Because you can not end your stupidity. All your masters tell you is based on sutras. Every single thing a master teaches you is from the sutras, all contained in sutras. And you dare slander sutras and say all this teaching, all this Buddha's teachings are nonsense, then you will not be able to understand the teachings. You'll be stupid forever. It is so harmful to yourself. That's what he's saying. He's not worried about the fact you slander him. You call him stupid. You call him unfilial. You call him, illiterate. It doesn't matter to him. Okay? But do not slander sutras. You too.
Tiango asks, Master, how do we get rid of attachment so we can enter enlightenment?
That's a hard one. I don't know. Anyone else can help her out? How you get rid of your stupidity and reach enlightenment? For some people, it's not possible. Is it hurting? Oh no, look at that, he's hurting. Oh, poor baby. Ice cream afterwards, huh? We agree? Huh? Lots of ice cream. What kind of flavor do you like? Huh? Baskin Robbins? He didn't like ice cream. No wisdom. I probably slandered sutras. What do you like? What would you like to eat? Huh? Young man, what would you like to eat? Huh? Pho? Pizza? Huh? It doesn't eat? Chuck E. Cheese. I know. Chuck E. Cheese. No Chuck E. Cheese? See that? He forgets about his pain for 1 minute. Talk to him. All right. So far, so good? Okay, be careful. It's not that we are afraid that you're going to say bad things about the Buddhas and the sutras and us and so forth. We only concerned that you hurt yourself in the long haul, that's all. Doesn't matter you call me stupid, call me bad monk or evil monk or demon. It doesn't matter. I'm irrelevant. I'm inconsequential. But don't slander sutras. Don't slander the Sangha. Okay? Be careful. The sutras are the highest and the most profound teachings there is. And the Sangha, don't insult the Sangha because the Sangha has to interpret it for you. Not lay people, I'm sorry. Lay people are ill-equipped to explain it for you. They're not qualified. Vimala Kirti is probably one of the rare exceptions, not exemptions. Tax season. Yes, White.
Mô Phật bạch thầy, con người mình chấp trước đó nó không có trí huệ, phải không thầy?
Master, those who has attachment, they don't have wisdom. Is that right?
I'm glad he asked questions that are easy to answer for a change. The woman is probably tired, huh? And get some rest, honey. Okay, of course, if you have attachment, it's all because you have no wisdom. To have attachments is because you have no wisdom. Next, 60 Sutra Text. Do not slander sutras, for if you do, you create countless offenses and obstacles.
不要谤经，罪障无数。
So the master reminds us, do not slander sutras. For if you do, you create countless offenses and obstacles. What kind of offenses? Offenses against Buddhas and sages. Okay? The Buddhas and sages are the crystallization, are the end results, are the demonstrated proofs of what happens to you when you practice according to sutras. So you don't want to slander sutras. Because you slander sutras, you will not be able to even see Buddhas and sages. You see the Buddhas and sages, you say, nah, he's a fake monk. Yes, great.
I heard the monks from Master Xinhua's temple used to bow to every word of the Avatamsaka Sutra,
Yes.
one Chinese character at a time. And
Yes.
they say the understanding for it grows a lot when they do that. So is that a good way to praise the sutras, or how would you recommend to do the opposite of slandering sutras and praising sutras? Should you bow to it?
Yeah, it would help. Bow the sutras would help, but what's missing in that picture? You guys are so vague. I don't know how you can go through life like this. I'm a monk. I feel so guilty. But you guys are happy. The understanding increase a lot. And as soon as I hear increase a lot, I say, how much? And you guys don't think like that. Like people give to me, they say, Master, I'd like to give you money. Immediately I say, how much? In my mind. Sorry. But the point here is that, how can you be so vague? How can you say, I bow to the Buddha and my understanding increased a lot? What's a lot? Can you tell me, please? Yes, great.
Well, I just heard Master Heng Shi and
no names. I will.
Okay, well, I just heard the bowing monks, explain a little bit. I wasn't not for very long, but they said that when you bow to the sutra one character at a time, you absorb it a lot deeper. Is what they said.
No. That's a false rumor. It's not true. I'm so upset when you believe these false rumors. You have a question or you have a comment? Great. Immediately, you should raise your hand and say what?
Well, it came from their personal experience, so how could it be a rumor?
Go back to Mexico. Okay, it's enough. It's okay. It's enough. Okay. No. Let me unbuckle. It's enough. It's okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's important to him. Very good. When he's saying, do you care I'm suffering? Where's your compassion? And everyone is watching. What kind of nun are you? Have you no compassion? God, what would people think of us? There's Catholics here. Give him something. Make him feel better. Very good. Now. Parents, pay attention. When you train dolphins, you need to give them fish. Yes? That's the only way to train dolphins is to give them fish. You know what I mean? Don't say I'm going to go shopping after. Now, where's my fish? Okay? You have to understand how the mind works for dolphins. Okay? No, I don't believe that when you bow to Buddhas and your understanding increases so and so, okay? It's true, but there's a mechanism behind it that's not explained to you. This is why I don't bother teaching you bowing. Because it will unravel all that knowledge. Can we talk straight, like the direct path, the direct way, instead of beating around the bush, please? You bow to each single character, you understand each single character more. What are you talking about? A character called Bu, a character called E. Bu is no, E is one. How many more meanings can you get from that one character? Huh? You tell me, Chinese people, please. I have this one character, E. E. Huh? E. Okay? You bow to 100,000 times. Are you going to understand it more? Please tell me. You believe anything you hear? I heard those things. You guys believe anything? Really? Can I interest you in some watches? Rolexes? Half price today. You believe that really? You bow to this? If it's true, you bow to this E character in the Chinese sutras, right? That, the Avatamsaka Sutra has a lot of E characters. E, Jie. Yeah? They use that word a lot. E, Jie. Okay? So I take this one character called E and I bow to it. I will understand more about this E character. I just proved to you right there. It's nonsense. How can you possibly bow to one character and understand that more? It's not possible. So what happened? I'm not saying that the wisdom did not increase, but the explanation why it increased doesn't make sense to me. You cannot talk to me like that and expect me to swallow it. So what happened? I don't have time. Let me tell you why. Can I? Can we? But there's a spy here. I cannot tell them everything. He's going to come back and tell them everything. What happened? Okay? Pluck her ears, please. Somebody pluck her ears. What happened is that you bow to the sutras, okay? And you bow, and suddenly one day you understand it more because, why? Because you entered samadhi. That's how it happened. It's not because you bow to one character, or two characters, or 10 characters, or one chapter. You can bow to one chapter until the end of time. If you don't enter samadhi, nothing is going to change. Nothing. Agree or disagree? How you like it? My explanation or the other explanation? Nonsense. Don't believe anything you hear, please. I mean, you are savvy people. Now you understand why in a Chan school we put so much emphasis on helping you develop samadhi. Because if you develop samadhi, you understand why I tell you. You don't develop samadhi, I can talk until I'm blue in the face, nothing happens. It's so frustrating. You work so hard and you say, But, the other guy says so. You enter samadhi and you decide for yourself. You don't need me. You like that? Huh? Who needs you? After you enter samadhi, say, hey, Master, sayonara. I don't need you anymore. YouTube has a question.
Christopher asks, Master, Buddha taught that upholding precepts leads to samadhi, and samadhi leads to wisdom. Does this mean that wisdom can only be developed by entering samadhi or obtaining certain levels of samadhi?
Yes. That's why in Buddhism, we train our people for the purpose of helping you become enlightened so that you understand the meaning, the secret meaning of sutras. And the only way for you to do that is to enter samadhi. Only way. Entering samadhi is likened to you in this Buddha hall here, okay? Where you are confused, where you are so overwhelmed by life, by your body, by everything. Okay? Can't take it. Can't see any better. Entering samadhi opens the door to another world for you, or you're free from this one. That's the only way for you to get out, is rise above it. And samadhi can do that. And when with samadhi, you understand not just the sutra, you understand so much more. Your perspectives are much different. Okay? So that's why in Mahayana, we stress so much on 10,000 Dharma doors to help you enter samadhi. And this particular patriarch here specializes in teaching you this sudden awakening Dharma door. That's the cream of the cream. Okay? And the only thing that's better than his teaching is sutras. Only thing better. Shakyamuni Buddha's teaching is also certain teaching, but it is so difficult for you to see that he has come to the world and teach people like us, like me, how to use a certain teaching Dharma door. Okay? He taught us how, teach us about the sudden enlightenment teaching. And once you understand this, then you see that Shakyamuni Buddha's teaching is also sudden enlightenment teaching, but much more disguised. Because he has to speak, Shakyamuni Buddha, he has to explain to a wide audience. Whereas the Sixth Patriarch Sutra, he scared the low-level riffraffs, and he only has to deal with the cream of the cream. So the teaching is more obvious. The Buddha cannot do that. The Buddha has to take care of all of us. So at high level, it's at what he's doing. At low level, okay, it also frees you, okay, from your current problems as well. Okay, thank you everyone. We stop here today.